Welcome back guys, hope you're all doing great, and today in this video we are going to see how to create a RESTful API services by using MongoDB, Node.js and Express. In this video, I'm going to teach you completely from the scratch how to configure your MongoDB and create a RESTful API services. And I hope you guys are excited because I'm so excited to drop this video to you guys. If you're watching my video in my channel for first time, hit the like and subscribe button because that encourages me to come up with more modern ideas with modern techs. And now, without wasting your time, let's get started.
Okay, then now what we need to do is we need to open up our command prompt and we need to create the project. I already navigated to my desired folder location, so go ahead and move to your desired folder location where you need to create your project. So here I'm going to create a new directory. So new directory, I'm going to name it as REST API, and I'm going to move to that particular directory, and let me open up with the Visual Studio Code editor. So you're free to use whatever the code editor you wish to use. So I'm using Visual Studio Code editor for my this particular project. Okay, so now we created a project folder and we opened it up. Now we need to initialize the project. So before starting all these things, you need to make sure that you already have the Node.js in your machine. Okay, so if you don't have Node.js, and go ahead and search for Node.js and open up their official website and download the recommended for the most user version, because we don't want any unwanted problems. That's why. So download that and install it, and now go and open up your Visual Studio Code and open up your terminal. We are going to initialize the project first. To initialize the project, you need to run the command called npm init. So this will initialize our project. So hit it, and that will ask you to give a package name. I'm going to use my folder name as my package name. So press enter, and leave the same version, press enter, and the description is going to be we are creating the REST API using MongoDB. That's the project description. Hit it, and the entry point of my application is going to be app.js. Okay, I'm not going to use the index.js. I'm going to change it to app.js. And then test command is nothing, git repository nothing, keywords nothing, author it's going to be Vetrivel Ravi, a license nothing. And then everything is okay? Yes, absolutely okay. Hit it okay. Now you can see that it's created the package.json over here, and let me minimize it a little bit, and you can see that it's having all the details whatever I entered over there, our project name and the version number and the description what I given over there, and our main file, what is our main file, all those things. Okay, so now our package.json. Now what we need to do is we need to install two different packages to run our RESTful services. To create a RESTful services, I'm going to install a package called, what is this, why it's coming over here? Okay, npm install express. So this is the package we are going to use, express, to create the RESTful API services, to maintain the server and all those things. And we are going to use the nodemon, which helps me to run my main application file. Okay, so hit enter. So this will install all the required node modules packages from the Node.js. Okay, so this will take a while, so sit tight until it gets done. So for me it's done now. Let me clear the screen. Okay, and now I'm going to make some changes over here. Anyway, we are not having any test command, so I'm just going to remove it, and then I'm going to write start. I need to start whenever I'm hit the command like npm start, it's need to run this command nodemon app.js. It should execute my app.js file, which is not yet created. Absolutely, we need to create it. Save the changes, and now here over here in the root directory, create a new file called app.js. Okay, so now we created our app.js. So inside this app.js, what you need to do is you need to configure your express app. So const express is equals require the express, the package which we installed now. Then I need to create an app. So I'm going to create an app called const app is equals express. So this will create our server. Now for the server, what I need to do, I need to have some middleware and I need to have some routes and all those things. So we are going to discuss about the middleware, everything. I'll explain this middleware, how it works and everything later. And we need to configure the routes. So to configure the routes, routes is nothing but all the API services like API routes, what we are going to create. So before going to much deeper inside it, you need to know about few functionalities like this get method. What is the get method? What is the post method? We are going to discuss the basic CRUD operation. That means create, read, update, and delete. Okay, so get method is used to fetch the data, and you can say post method is used to push the data to the database, and then patch method is used for update, and finally we are having the delete method too. So we all know that delete method is absolutely used to delete the data. Okay, so let me bring it to a new line over here so that I can see it clearly. Okay, so here, these are the functions we are going to use in our API now. So let me create a route now. So I'm going to create a new route. So app.get. So whenever the user hits the home route, so slash, simply if it is an empty slash means that the home route. If anything comes through the home route, I'm going to pass two different parameter to this function, like request and the response. Okay, so whenever user hits this home route, send a request to the home route, I need to send a response as response.send, not this one, response.send. I'm going to send a response as I'm inside the home. Save the changes. So currently it doesn't make anything. It's do nothing because our server is not listening to any port. So we need to make sure that it's listening to a port. So create a listening port for our server. So we need to create a listening port. So for that, I'm going to use app.listen. Okay, app.listen. It's going to listen to the port number 3000. Okay, so it's going to listen to the port number 3000. Now it's pretty much done. Let's see whether this route is working fine or not. To start, we already configured the start over here. I'm just going to run the command npm start. That's it. If everything is working fine, that means it will start your node app.js. So that will trigger your app.js and it will start executing. Let me open the browser now and then I'll search for localhost 3000. And look at that. We are getting our route, our response back. It's giving the I'm inside the home. So let me create a new route and then let me verify one more time. App.get. And this time I'm going to create a new route called post. Okay, post, and this is going to be we are going to give a pass a request and we are going to pass the response and we are going to create a function, and the response I'm going to send back whenever the user requests through this route. I'm going to send the request as I'm inside the post. If I hit the save, now you can see that. Let me give a request like post over here and you can see that now it's having that I'm inside the post. If I give like slash over there, and you can see that it's running inside I'm inside the home. So currently everything is up and running fine, and now it's the time to configure our MongoDB. Okay, so to configure our MongoDB with this RESTful API project, what you need to do is we need to install one package called mongoose. That's the package called npm install mongoose. So this package will helps you to configure and connect your MongoDB with your project. So let me install that package now. So this will install that necessary package. Here we go. So we installed it. Now what we need to do is I need to go ahead and open my MongoDB first. So there are lots of cloud integration platform which helps you to connect and configure your MongoDB, but I'm like what, like MLab and Atlas, I like these kinds of stuffs are there. In that case, I'm going to use the Atlas, which is a default thing provided by the MongoDB itself. I'm going to use that one. So search for MongoDB, and you can find their official website over there. So click it. So if you're using the MongoDB for first time, so you need to create an account. So what you need to do is click here, try free, and create an account over there, or click sign in. And it's taking time. Okay, so here you can see this sign up button. So click it and create your own application, sorry, your own account over there. And I'm going to use my Gmail account itself. I'm going to log in with my Gmail account. So that use my Gmail because I already signed in my Gmail account over here. Okay, so now I entered into my MongoDB cloud dashboard. So currently you guys see the same screen, or it might be looks different, but the progress and everything what we are going to do is same. What we need to do is we just need to create a new project. So I literally cleared my complete cloud data dashboard. I deleted all the projects previously I have so far. Now we are going to create everything from the scratch. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to create a new project. So click new project and give a project name. So I'm just using as REST API and click next. Okay, so this is my Gmail account and it's using as my project owner. Absolutely, we are the project owner, so create it. So this will create that new project first. So once the project is created, you need to create your own cluster where you will maintain all your databases and all those things. So here you can see that this will takes you to the Atlas platform over there where you can maintain your databases and database access and network access. We need to give some security changes and everything once the database is created. For that, first we need to create a database. So click this build a database, and here you can see that there are lots of options over here. So you can go for a paid version or you can go for the free version. I'm just going with free version for this now. But if you are creating more than one cluster, you need to pay. You need to pay. You can use the dedicated server only, not the free server. You can the free cluster will provide you half a gigabyte for maintaining your database, like 512 MB. You can maintain some database and everything. So that's really good. So you can choose AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, whatever you wish to, you can use that. I'm going to use the Google Cloud and I'm using my nearmost server. Okay, I'm just leaving as it is. The server is as it is. And here you can see that what is the cluster tier and all those things. If you wish to change the cluster tier like 2 GB, 5 GB something, you need to pay some amount. And over here you can see that they are providing you a shared RAM with 512 MB of storage over here. So leave it as it is. I'm not going to change anything. And I'm going to, if you want to configure any backup on those things about for your server, you can make sure that you have your backup if you enable this. I'm not going to enable this because it's just a free version. And here you need to change your cluster name. I'm just going to leave it as it is, like a cluster 0 itself. Give any name as you wish, and I'm creating a cluster. So once you hit the cluster, this might take around 3 to 5 minutes to create a cluster. So please wait until it's create that cluster, and we automatically navigate ourselves to the security places over there, and I'll show you how to create and everything. So now with the help of the editing, I'm just going to skip out this time and I'll join you back. Okay then, so now you can see that my cluster is created successfully. So if you click over here, the databases, you can see that your cluster is up and running fine. So far there is no connections, no read and write, everything is empty because we don't have anything, because just now only we created it. All we have to do is, first of all, then what you need to do is you need to provide the database access. So you need to create a user to give an access for it. So click the database access over here and create a new user, add new, and give a user. So I'm just typing admin and give the new password for it. Okay, so type the password as you wish, whatever the wish you wish. I'm just typing the admin and admin over here. Okay, and now if you scroll down, you can see that what are the permissions you need to give. Read and write permission, absolutely, because he's the admin, so I'm just giving the read and write permissions and everything. If you're creating some other users, so you need to customize your roles and everything, you can just play around with these options. I'm just going to click add because admin literally need everything. So it's automatically detecting my Chrome browser. It's showing it's a weak password. So let me ignore it, leave it. Okay, so now my admin user is created. Then I need to create a network access. So this cloud platform need to be accessed through a so through a specific, or you need to make sure that is accessible only through a specific IP address. So go ahead and add your IP address over here. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as allow access from anywhere. So click it and click confirm. If you want to add only your specific IP address, so what you need to do, you need to go and if you click this add current IP address, that will add this database will be accessible only through this particular IP address. So let me click allow access from anywhere. Okay, because I used to access my this cluster from my office work or from here. I need to access it anywhere. So click confirm. Okay, so this is loading. So this need to change, this status need to be active, because if it is still is pending, you can't access this thing. So I think this might take a while. So let's go ahead and configure on all those remaining things, then we'll come and check once again. Okay, so now go back to the database. Okay, I need to connect this. I need to connect this to my node application which we created now. To do that, what we are going to do is click the connect option. Okay, so we are not going to use the MongoDB Compass, which is the simple software which helps you to connect or and work with the MongoDB, and I'm not going to use the shell also. I'm going to connect through applications. So click connect your application, and then we are going to connect it to our Node.js. Absolutely leave it as it is, and this is the command, the line we need to copy it. So click here, copy it. Okay, and go here. So right after here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the MongoDB. We are going to connect the MongoDB. So as I said already, we installed the required package. We are going to create that one. So const mongoose equals require the mongoose package what we imported. So that is the mongoose. So now this mongoose will handle all those things for us. So mongoose dot connect is the class which helps you to connect your MongoDB. So here I need to paste that link from there which we copied. Let me paste it over here. Okay, and here it's asking for the password, so you need to type the password over here, delete this and type the password what you typed over here. I just typed admin, and then right after here I need to create a callback function. Okay, and I'm going to console log it, console.log as connected. Save the changes. Now we can see that we created this function mongoose.connect, and we passed that URL, our connection string, and it's callback, and we are having a callback function over there. Okay, so make sure that you added the comma over here, and it's showing that is the connected. But this is not a proper way, but I'll show you later how to use all those things. But now let's make sure whether it's working fine or not. Let me check the network access status. Now you can see that my network access status is active, so that I can go ahead and run my command over now. So let's run the command like npm start. If you hit the command like npm start, now it's up and running, and you can see that it's showing our database is connected because our mongoose it's connected to our admin. And look at that. So we successfully connected our MongoDB. So now our database is up and running, and it's connected to our node application. Okay, so now let me show you how to configure this, because no one is supposed to see our code when we are uploading this to a GitHub. They can see our connection string and they can see our password and everything. So I need to protect this. So how to protect this is, for to protect that, I'm going to install one more package called npm install. Okay, I'm going to use the .env package. Wait a second. It's showing like I'm sorry, I just typed in another skill env. Okay, npm install .env. So this will like helps you to install that .env those things. .env is the package which helps you to protect your password or your security key. So we are going to create an environment variable and we are going to keep it inside that environment variables. So CLS. And now what we need to do is, and inside the root directory, you need to create a new file called .env. Okay, this is the environment file, so don't give any name. So just type .env, and then instead of keeping this connection string over there, I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to create as what's we can say db underscore connection, like that, equals, paste that string over here. Okay, so now this is ready to access it. And what I need to do is I need to import that env file. We need to configure the .env file. So first I'm going to, let me make it this one smaller so that, okay. So right after here, we need to type require. We need to use the .env, right? So .env slash config. Okay, from that package we are using the config, so that now I can access this environment variable over here. So over here, instead of this string, let me delete it. Instead of that string, what we are going to do is we are going to pass that environment variable. So using the process.env dot the connection variable where it is, this connection name, give that name over here. So this will fetch that string from that particular file and it will run. Save the changes. Now, even though if you upload this code, they can't understand this db underscore connection. What is this? What is the connection string? And all those things. Because I will ignore this file in the git ignore when I'm uploading this file to the cloud. Okay. So let me rerun the project. npm start. Now it's up and running and you should get the same message as connected. Now you can see that our connection string is protected and as well as it's connected. Look at that. Okay, good. Let me stop the server now. Close it. Okay. And I'm not supposed to every time I open my browser and every time I can't check this API routes. To monitor that, I'm going to use a software called Postman, which is really comes handy when you're working with the API services and all those things. So go ahead and download this and install the Postman in your machine. But I'm already having the Postman application in my machine, so let me open it. So it's just you need to create a free account over here. It's just use your Gmail or anything else. You can create a free account over there, and let me open it. It's taking too long to open today. I don't know why. Yep, now it's opened. Okay, so it's opened and it's up and running now. Look at that. So let me close all the APIs and over here because I already worked a lot of APIs with my custom projects. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new project over here. Click new, not here. I'll create a new folder, new collection for it, and I'll name that collection as REST API underscore MongoDB underscore YouTube. So I'll create a new collection. Inside this new collection, I'm going to create a new request, add new request, and that is going to be the get request, get home. Okay, that's a get home request, root home. Okay, so all I just need to do is just go to open up your browser and copy this link from here. And now we don't need this browser anymore. We are just going to use this one. Okay, now let me start my server, npm start. So this server will start listening over here, and now if I hit it, and I will get that response over here. I will get the response as I am inside the home. Look at that. Our everything is working fine. Okay, now if I type the post also, it should work fine because we're having the post. If I hit send, look at that. It's showing I'm inside the post. So our services, it's working up and running fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my app file simple as much as possible. To do that, um, I'm going to create a new folder called routes where I'm going to maintain all my external routes. Like if you want to go for the routes which based for users separately and for post separately and for any other thing, any other API REST ports like post, user, and blog, all those things. If you're having any different action, I need to keep everything as a separate routes. To do that, I'm going to create a new folder called routes. Okay, inside this folder, I'm going to create a new file called post. Okay, we are going to create a new file called post because this is the post route, posts.js. Okay, inside this post.js we are going to use the route. Okay, we need to use the route um, because a route, it's already coming from that router is coming from your express itself, so we don't need to install any external packages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create const express require express. First you need to import the express package. Then what you need to do is so let me stop the connection because every time it's keep on refreshing, it will hit the MongoDB connection string. So let me stop it, and then we need to configure the router. So const router is equals require, not require because we already created the express. So express dot router. This is the class we are going to use for managing our router. Okay, so now I don't need to use the express. I need to use the router. Okay, so here first I will copy all these things. I will no home, it should be there. So I'll copy this post from there, from my app over here. So this is to get all the post. Okay, this time I'm not going to use the app, I'm going to use the router. So copy the router and paste it over here. Okay, so and now what I need to do is I need to export this model, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so we need to export. So module dot exports equals router. We are exporting this particular router. So whenever I'm running that particular thing, it should come from here. So this is where we are going to understand our middleware. Okay, I'm going to explain you the middleware. So let me keep this route now. So for that it will really easy to for you understand the middleware. So to run a middleware, so middleware helps you to run another function at the time of sending a request and sending a response. In the time of the middle, at the middle point, it will run another function. So I'm going to run app.use. Okay, so we are going to run an app.use over here. So app.use, whenever any request is coming through this particular route slash post, that means whenever I'm sending a request to this, if it is request is coming through this particular port, this particular route, then what I need to do is I need to call a callback function, and I'm going to just print a method. I'm just going to console log it, console.log log like this is middleware. Okay, so if I send a request, if I send a request to this particular route, this function, this middleware will be triggered, and this message will be executed in the middleware. Let me check. npm start. Okay, so it's up and running, and our MongoDB is connected. And if I send request to that particular port, if I hit send, it's keep on sending because the middleware is running, but the middleware is not completed. It's showing still that this is the middleware because the middleware is up and running now. It's not yet completed still now. That's why we are not getting the response back. Okay, so that will fix the problem and everything. So I hope now you understand what is middleware. Okay, so let me stop it, and we don't need this route. Because why I don't need it in the app.js is because we created the post.js as a separate router. Whenever it's coming through this particular route, we are going to reroute it to the post.js. That's what we are going to do. That will be done in your middleware. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, first I need to import the routes from that. we need to import the routes. In our case, the route is going to be our post.js. So app const post route is equals, not const, spelling is wrong. Const post route is equals require double dot slash routes. Double dot slash or dot slash? Yeah, dot slash routes slash post. Okay, so now this will take this file, it will creates an object through this post route, so that using this we can access everything here. And now I'm going to make sure this app is going to use, okay, whenever any post routes, whenever any posts, if I'm sending any posts over here, if it's coming any if any request is coming through this particular route, use post route file, navigate it to this particular post.js. Okay, so that will work fine. Npm start. Now let's check whether it's working fine or not. Okay, now if I hit this send post message, if I hit it, it's showing an error, cannot get the post slash post. Why? I think, let me check 1 second. Let me change this to slash root. Here we go, because slash post is coming from there, because route will be changed like that. If you keep again slash post, it will come through the slash post, and again it will search for slash post. Okay, so that's not supposed to happen. That's why I keep this post as a home. Okay, if it is coming through this particular post, it will go and access this home directory of the home route of the post. And like that, after this I can create a new route also, router dot get slash specific post. Like that I can give a request, not that one. Okay, open, and I can pass two parameter, request and response. So here I'm just going to send the message as here I'm going to send the message inside the specific post, say the changes. Now if I'm sending this particular route, that means slash specific, if I send it, now we can see that it's showing it's inside the specific route. Now I hope you understand that how the middleware is working now. Okay, so I'm sending a request and it will goes to the app.js. If that request is coming through slash post, it will reroute it to post.js, and once it comes inside the post.js, if anything after that, it will, this is the for home directory, and if after that post it's having any specific things, any particular route name or anything, it will go and open that particular route from the post.js. Okay, so if you wish to have a user and for blog or anything, all you just need to create a new route for your user and for your blog, and all you just need to add like this app.use. If it is coming through user, you just need to create a user route just like this and record it and create a user route and leave it over there, so that you can just change your user routes. So by this way you can keep your app.js simple and clean. Okay, so that helps you to monitor your all the routes separately in a separate file. Okay, so let me close it. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to, so get post, it's working fine now, so get all, it's working fine, so leave it as it is. So now what we are going to do is we are going to uh, post some data, our data, into the MongoDB. Okay, so before posting some data, we need to create a schema. Schema means a structure, a database structure. We need to create a schema. To create a schema, I'm going to create a model classes over here. So right click new folder in a root directory, and I'm going to create a new folder called model. Inside this model, I'm going to create a new file called post p capital .js. Okay, this is for post table in your database. Okay, I'm going to create a schema by using the mongoose package, which we already have. So const mongoose equals require slash mongoose. Okay, and now we need to create a schema. So const, let me keep it as post schema is equals mongoose, not mongoose dot schema. Okay, open it, and here you need to pass a bunch of objects. Okay, first what we need to do for post, I need the title and the description and the date. So what I can do is I can type the title is the column name, and the data type it's going to be string, and the same way description, and that it's going to be string. Look at that, how easy it is. Just you need to give your column name and the data type what is going to be happen. Okay, in some cases we need to make sure that they are required, they need to be filled, they are not supposed to be an empty thing. So I need to make sure that one also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize it a little bit. Instead of passing the data type over there, I'm going to create one more object for it, and the type, what is the data type, is going to be string, and then required is going to be true. Okay, so you need to do the same thing for your description also. So let me copy it from here and paste it over here. So now you can see that we successfully created a schema with two different columns, title and that's required, and description that's also required, both of them having a data type called string. And likewise I'm going to have a date also, because when that post is created we need to store that one, and this is going to be default. Okay, we are not going to pass this as a value, it's a default. Whenever it's inserting a new value in a database, it's use the current system date and time. So type, I'm going to keep the type as string only, string, and then I'm going to use the default value. So default, by default means by giving us a default, it will insert that value as a default value. So you are not supposed to pass it. Okay, you don't need to pass it. Okay, so I'm going to fetch the date object, and I'm going to fetch the current system date and time. Date not now, you are not supposed to pass it as a function, you need to pass it as a reference. If you're passing as a function, it will throws an error. Okay, and all after this I just need to export it. Unless or until if you're not exporting it, nothing will work. So exports is equals mongoose dot model. So to export your schema, so you need to use the model. Okay, so this is not the folder which is accessing here. It's a class which helps you to create a model in the MongoDB. Okay, so we are going to export the post. This is this file name. Okay, post. Okay, no, not. We need to create a model name in your MongoDB. Either you can keep your file name as your table name in your MongoDB, or you can use a different name over here. So I'm just going to use it as posts, comma, post schema, or not post message. Where is it? Post schema. Here it is. So create a table called post in the database by using for this particular schema. Okay, so this will be created now. Okay, now all I need to do is I just need to use a route. I need to create a route for this. Okay, so let me go back to the post.js. Let me delete it. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to import that particular schema over here. So import post is equals require double dot slash model slash post. By using this schema, we are going to send the post. So when the schema is triggered, that will create the table. If it's not there, if it is already there, it will opens the table, and it will make sure that it will insert the data over there. Because currently our schema is not created in our MongoDB. Nothing is there currently. Okay, so now we imported the post which we needed, and here now we need to write a route to save a post. So router dot post method, this time we are going to use the post method. Okay, and if it's coming through an empty route, if anything is coming through a home route in a post request, you need to process it, send a request and the response. Okay, you need to process and send the request. Through here we need to let's say currently I'm just going send a response as response.send save a post. So we'll make sure whether it's working fine or not first. So let me save it, and I'm going to create a new request for us, and that request is going to be save post. And let me copy the name from this link from here, and I'll close that one, we don't need it. I'll give it over here, and this is going to be the post. Okay, I'll keep it in the right side. So this is going to be post. I don't need this specific, I delete it. Change this where I'm working here, we don't need this, delete it, and change this to post. Now if I hit send, you need to see this message as save post. So our route is working fine now. Now what I need to do here, we don't need to need this, I'll delete it. Okay, so now I need to create a post first. Okay, so then only I can send a data or whatever the message you want to do, you can do everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a post. Const post is equals. Okay, I need to how the data and everything is working over here. So before creating a post, you need to make sure the data was passed through the body tag from here, through the body tag. So I need to get the data first. So we'll see how the data is working. So let me console log the request which is coming through the body, request dot body tag. Okay, so I will send a request from the body tag, and through the form data that will be passed over here. Let me show you here. So here I'm going to send a body tag. Through the body I'm going to send a raw data, and that data is going to be a JSON data. I'm going to send a JSON data because mostly nowadays we are using JSON only. Okay, so I'm going to send through the data, through the body I'm going to send a JSON data, and that data is going to be use the same title, same thing, name, title. I'm going to use the title as let's give a title as first post. Okay, and then we are going to use the description. So let me copy this one because we don't need to make any unwanted mistakes. So this description is going to be my first post. Okay, so now if I hit center, if I hit send button, this will be sent to that through that particular route, and then we can access it through the request.body. Let me open the terminal and keep it side by side, and if I hit send now, it's sending a request. So leave it, and here you can see that it's showing undefined. This is the problem, we need to solve it because your node, this server, it doesn't know how to parse your data, because we are sending it as a JSON. So we need to instruct it to read the JSON as a JSON data and parse it. So to do that, I'm going to install on package. So let me stop the server, and I'm going to install a package called body parser. So npm install body parser. So this package will instruct your server to parse the data, whatever it's coming through it, through the route. Okay, so now the data through the body tag, through anything will come through the body tag will be parsed. So let me rerun the server npm start. Okay, so it's up and running, so my database is connected, and if I hit send again, you can see here still it's showing undefined. Why? What I'm missing? Oh my goodness, I forgot to import the body parser in your app. My bad, guys, because we need to do one more thing. What is that? So after here in my app.js, go to the app.js. So after here we need to create a body parser, const body parser is equals require body parser. Okay, so now we imported that package over here, and now we need to make sure that app is using it. So whenever any request is coming through, I'm going to trigger a middleware. So app.use, okay, app.use, that's going to use the body parser dot JSON because we are sending a JSON data. So whenever anything through any request from the any route, if you are getting any route, parse the body by using a JSON format. So now if I hit send, you can see that now we are getting the data as title, first post, description, my first post. So we are getting the JSON data now. Look at that, it's successfully working now. Okay, so let me keep it, let me minimize it, we don't need it anymore. Okay, so now go back to the post.js. So schema is working fine, close it, we don't need to do touch anything in that thing. Okay, now I just need to go to post.js, and instead of console and logit, I'm going to create a post now. Const post is equals, okay, we need to fetch the data from the body tag which we are passing, and we need to save it in the local variable. So it's equals to new post. New post is nothing but our schema. Okay, we are directly saving it to it, new post. Okay, and for this new post I'm going to create an object for it, object, and that object is going to be, first one is going to be the title. So where is that post schema, title colon, and after that we need to have one more thing, that's the description. Date will be automatically generated, so no problem. So title, it's going to be from the request dot body dot title. Okay, and the same, do the same thing for request dot body dot description. Okay, so we are fetching the data from our body tag and we are feeding it to the title, and it's passed to the new post. Now it's ready, but still it's not saved. I need to save this post. Okay, so that where I'm going to use the save method which is provided by the MongoDB. So post dot save method, and then this will return a promise. I need to use the then method. So then I'll get the data, anything if it's coming through it. I'm creating an option, and I'm going to parse it as a JSON. So parse the response as a JSON data. Okay, pass the data into it. So this will be parsed. So we are saving the data which is come through this particular thing, through the schema, and we will get this particular data, and I'm parsing it again to a JSON data, anything JSON data. Okay, if any error, if I'm getting any error through it, I need to catch that the error. So catch dot catch, if any error is coming, error, I'm creating a callback function. I need to send a response.json as a message. Send a message object what error it is. Okay, so actually what is happening here is we are saving the object what we get from the body tag. I'm using that post object which we created here, and I'm using the save method to save it, and that will return a promise. If that promise it's returning the data, send me the data to the send that particular data as a response, or else if there is any error is coming, send the error message. Okay, actually this is helps you to save the data in your database, and this is to return that particular body data to back to the user itself, and this, if that any error is happening, it will send that error message back. Let's check whether it's working fine or not. Let me save it, let me go ahead, and if I click send now we can see that it's sending back the data what we saved. So it's showing the title and the description which the object we created, and it's automatically creating the ID because MongoDB used to do that. It's create an underscore ID variable and it generate automatic ID for it each and every data in the MongoDB inside the table. And this date is created and it's returned as a string. Okay, now let me go ahead and check my MongoDB whether the data is stored or not. To check that, you need to click the browse collection. Click the browse collection and it will load your all your collections over here. I'm having my first database over here which is auto generated initially, and I'm having the post is the data table which we created post. Inside the post we having our data. Okay, so our database, our API, it's working fine and it's the stored in the database also, so it's successfully running fine. But if you look at this code, it looks awkward. Okay, it's not a clean way to write a code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it simple. So I'll just delete it. Okay, I'll just delete it. I'm going to use the try and catch. Try catch. Okay, leave it error as it is. Over here, I'm going to write a save post. So const, I'm going to save the post, right? So this function needs to wait. Okay, this function, it needs to wait until that post is saved. So to do that, I'm going to make this function as an asynchronous function. Asynchronous function, that means that this will wait, that function will wait in this particular line until this post dot save method is successfully done. Once it's done, it will return a promise and it will return back the data. So I'm going to save the data in as a saved post is equals await dot post dot save. So this function will be executed and it will be saved in the saved post. If you get the saved post, that means your data is saved. Then I will just simply send that uh, instead of response dot send. If you're using the send, you can set the status like 200 status, 300, 400, lots of status are there. So I don't want to confuse you. I'm just simply sending the JSON data back. I'm not checking any status. So you can check the status like 200, because if you notice here, if you send a request, it's showing the 200. 200 means it's the standard HTTP request. That's okay. It's success. So like that, we're having lots of status over there. If you want to check, you can check that status over there. Okay, and I'm going to send the saved post as it is. If any error is coming, I'm going to response.json. I'm going to send that object as the message error. Okay, so this is the best way to and simple and clean way to have your that saving post. Okay, now let's change this. This is my second post. My second post. If I hit this send button, look at that. We have our object back. And if I go and check my browser and let me refresh it, where is the refresh button? Over here, refresh it. It will refresh all the data, and you can look at that. You're having that object. Our second post, it's over there. It's having this unique ID object, and our data is saved in our MongoDB. So we successfully saved our data. So now, instead of every time I'm going and checking in my browser, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch all the posts over here. Close it. And the same way, I'm going to write the try and catch block. Try. Okay. So after this try, you need to have the catch also. Catch error. Open it. Otherwise, it will throw the error. Okay. So inside this try and catch, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the post. So to fetch the post from the MongoDB, we have the option called find. Find. Oops. Find. This is the method which helps you to get all the data. Actually, this find method, we having lots of methods like find, find one, find many. These are the functions from the MongoDB. If you wish to learn more about them, go ahead and search for MongoDB docs, MongoDB, and the documentation. Click the MongoDB documentation, and you can search for that method, whatever you want. So if I search for find method, It's showing, here it is, find a document. Sorry, we can't find this page. Why? Wait a second. So CRUD operations in MongoDB. MongoDB. Here it is, Mongo CRUD operation. If you click that one, here we go. So here you can see that insert, querying the document, updating, deleting, all those things. If I click query documents, you can see that, here we go, the find method. The find method takes the optional parameters also, so that if you just go through it, you can learn much more about the all the functionalities, everything comes from the MongoDB. Okay, so now let's get back to here. I'm going to use this find object over here. Now inside the try, I'm going to write the const post, which is to get all the post from the MongoDB, and it's need to await post, that from that table, from that schema, we are searching using the schema from the post dot find. If you see here, we have in the lots of option: find by ID, find by ID and delete, find by ID and update. Like that, it's having lots of options in MongoDB to make your work much easier. Okay, so I'm going to use the find, and I'm not going to pass any method. Because of this await, I'm going to change this to asynchronous method. So because this function needs to wait until it's done. So once I get the post, I'm just simply going to send the JSON data directly to the user. Post to the user. If there is any error is coming, just like here, I'll copy this and I paste it over here. If there is any error is happening, send me that error. Now let me open up my Postman. Go to the home. We don't need this. Yeah, we need this post. So I'm sending this post now. If I click get, now you can see that it's returning the JSON data. It's collecting, we having all the objects, object 1 and object 2. Look at that, how simple it is. So we successfully done the get all the post method now. Now let's write a route to get a specific post. So right after over here where we are saving, and here it's to get a specific post. Okay, so we are now going to get a specific post. So I'm going to use the router. So router dot get, same method only, because it's to we are fetching the values. Okay, and through the route I'm going to pass the post ID. So colon post ID. Make sure that you are using this post ID. Sorry, using this colon important. That's really important. After the slash, it should be colon. That's the parameter which you are passing through the route. And it's going to be the asynchronous function. We are passing the request and the response. Open the function. Here I'm just going to send the response dot send. Okay, simply whatever the ID I'm sending, I'm just sending it back, because we need to know how to fetch the ID from the URL. To do that, we're having an option called request. Through the request dot params, that means from the parameter, URL parameter, I'm going to fetch the post ID. Okay, now let me check whether it's working fine or not. Let me create a new request, and this is going to get specific post. I will copy it and paste it over here, and now I need an ID. So let me give this ID slash over here. I'll just simply paste it. Now this will be fetched and it will be returned back over here. If I send it, look at that. Now we're having that ID back, because from the URL parameter, the complete parameter, we fetched that ID what we needed. So we fetched that. Okay, so now we have the ID over here, so we don't need to send it now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to search the database by using this specific ID. So I'm literally doing the same thing. I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. This time I'm not going to return everything. I'm going to find by the ID. So find by ID, and inside of it I need to pass that ID. So request dot params dot post ID. What happened? Oh, request.params post ID. Okay, so now this is the post. It's not a post because we'll make it a post. We are getting a single post, that's why I'm using as a post. Okay, now let's check. I'm using the same ID because that's this object. We should get the first post. We'll see. If I hit send now, look at that. Now it's fetching the data by using the specific ID. So in case if I'm sending something else like this, see, it's showing a reasonable message. What is that message? Cast error. What is the message error? Cast to an object ID failed for value for this particular ID and blah blah blah. It's returning this particular information, a complete reusable object. So you don't need to create any custom error message for your if the ID is not there. MongoDB is returning this complete information to you. So you can directly use these things. Okay? So don't worry about it. I'll just paste it. Oh, not this one. I'll just paste this ID now. Second post. Where is it? Here. Paste it. Hit it. Now we are getting the second post. Look how fast it is. Okay. So we successfully done the get a single post. Now we are going to update the specific post. Okay. So to update now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the patch method. So router dot patch. We are going to use the patch method, and exactly same way I'm going to pass this ID and all those things. I'll copy it and paste it here. I don't want to type it again and again. So I'll just copy it and paste it, and I'm going to call a function now. Okay. So patch, it's going to have a post ID when it comes to in through on patch request. We are getting the ID from the parameter, and I'm going to update it. So this time I'm going to open the try and catch, use as an error object over here. Inside the try and catch, it just kind of like the same way what we did for the save post, but not the same way, because in this time we are going to use the method called update one. If you search for where it is, not the query document, where is update document, if you see here, we are going to use the update one because it's have update one and update many at the same. You can, if you want to update a bulk of data, you can use the update many method. This time we are going to use the update one only. Okay, for update one, it's having the set parameter, set object. Inside the set you need to pass the values for your whatever the value you need to update and all those things set. And it's also having the current date when it's last modified. Okay, if you want to do that, you can do this one also. Okay, now let's use the how to use the set operator to update the value. Let's go here, and I'm just going to create a new thing, updated post, because this will return a promise. So post dot update one, we are not going to use update many, update one. Inside this update one, I'm going to pass a bunch of objects. Okay, I need to target and specific ID, right? To target that specific ID, MongoDB has underscore ID, right? Underscore ID, and this ID is coming from request dot params dot body, not body, post ID. Okay, so now we have that ID. We are updating this particular ID, and now I need to set the value. Open it, and I need to set the value dollar. Where's the dollar set? Why I'm using dollar set? Because that's the operator you need to use, dollar set. Then this is an object. Inside it, I'm sending another object. What is an object I'm going to do? I'm going to send the same object from here. Copy it and paste it. Title, which is coming from the request.body.title, description, and which is coming from request.body.description. Save the changes. Okay, so now this will be updated once everything is done. If everything is done properly, I need to send the response.json, the updated post. whatever the updated post it saved in the database, send that exact updated post. And if there is any error is coming, just simply pass that error back to me. Okay, so now let's verify it whether it's working fine or not. Let me copy it. I will create a new request for update it. So this is going to be update post, and here I'm going to pass that URL, and I'm going to change it to a patch method. We need to send a body tag, so open the body tag and change it to raw. Instead of text, change it to JSON because we are parsing everything to JSON. Where is the save post? Let me copy it and let me paste it. Actually, this ID which is belongs to the second post. Right now we are going to update the second post. Let me say second post updated. My second post is going to update now. Okay, so now if I hit enter, if everything is working fine, we should get that updated message. Acknowledged true, modified count 1, and you can see that the upserted ID is null, upserted count, matched count 1. So we get this option, we get this now. It's showing acknowledged true, that means success. And it's showing the modified count as 1. It's showing this like some kind of message from the MongoDB because that's it showing the updated post. Now let's go and verify whether it's updated or not. Now why we need to go there? We can verify it from the get post itself. If I hit send now, you look at that, you can see that the second post is updated and it's showing my post is going to update now. So update post is working now. So this is the bunch of object is returned by the MongoDB. It's showing the modified count 1. That means 1 data is modified. Okay, so our update method is working fine. Look at that, we successfully done the update method too. Now all we need to do is delete the post. That's really simple. Creating is a problem, deleting is not at all a problem. Delete a post. Now we need to create a router. Router.delete is the method we need to use. And when you're using the delete method, you need to pass the same ID and all those things. So instead of typing it again, I'm just copying it. Okay, make sure that you're using asynchronous method. Open a function. Okay, now what we need to do is from here I need to delete it. I'm going to use the try and catch because we are trying to delete an ID. If there is any error, we need to handle it. Okay, and then I'm going to create const remove post. It's an object because this remove method will return and promise back, so we need to catch it. Await post, that's a schema which we created, and I'm going to use the method called remove. Okay, remove, and this time I'm going to remove a specific ID, so that's why we are using underscore ID, which is comes from your MongoDB. So request dot body, not body tag, request dot params dot post ID. We need to get this post ID which we are trying to delete, and we are passing it to the remove method that will remove that particular ID from that post table in your MongoDB database. And that will, once it's successfully removed, it will return a promise, that acknowledgement statement, and then we are just going to pass that acknowledgement statement remove post back to the user. If any error is occurring, we are just passing that error. Okay, so now let's verify whether our, let me copy the same ID because I'm going to delete the second post which we updated now. This second post, I'm going to create a new request called delete post, paste that URL back, and make sure change it to delete. If I hit enter, now the data will be deleted from there. Click it. It's showing an error. It's showing cannot delete the post. Why? Why it can't delete that post? Is there any mistake in ID? Copy it and paste it over here. Because I changed it to delete, hit enter, still it's showing cannot delete. Why? 4 not 4. It's showing that ID is not there, but we pass the same ID only, right? Yeah, let me try to pass this one. Look at that. Now we are facing some problem. Why it's showing that ID is not there? Wait, is there any mistakes over here using the ID? Because no, I'm using the exact same ID only. It's perfect. No mistakes in that. Remove method. Yeah, we are using the remove method only. Remove. Router dot delete request. Let me go here, refresh it. Copy this and paste it. Hit send. Still it's showing the same. Why? Cannot delete that particular thing. Why headers? Delete method only we are using. Is there any error it's showing over in the console? Wait a second. Let me check. Why it's showing like that console.log remove post. Save it, and now let me send it again. What is the message we are getting in the console? We are not getting anything. Because it's coming in the error section, right? So let's print the error. What is the complete error is coming? Nothing is happening. Maybe there is some mistake. Is it really coming to this one? Console.log delete. Inside delete. I'm not sure whether that router is working fine because it's showing that ID. See, nothing is happening. This router itself, it's not coming. Maybe that there is a problem with this router itself. I think so. My bad. Actually, I typed that thing inside this one. See, that's the mistake. So delete, remove it, and right after here. Blender mistake. Guys, everything is working fine, guys. But what the mistake I made is I created this complete thing inside this update method itself. That's why it's keep on showing that message. Damn it. My bad. So now if I get all the posts, still that first post it's here. Let me copy it and give it over here. Okay. Now if I hit send, it's showing deleted count 1. See, we are getting the promise back as a deleted count as 1. And if you click, oh, what happened? If I click over here and if I fetch the data, look at that. We deleted our first post successfully. If I give this ID over here, that ID is also deleted. It's returning an empty array. Now, if I want to save the data, let me save the data. First post, my first post. If I hit send button, and you can see if I fetch it, now our data is saved over there. If I want to save second one, okay, if I hit send, now we can see that the second post is saved. I want to update it, this description over there. I'll go there, and if I update the post by adding that ID over here, I want to update my second post is going to update now. This is the data I want to update. If I hit save, so it's showing modified count as 1. If I click send again, look at that. Our data is updated and my data is updated successfully. Title and description is updated successfully. So we successfully configured our MongoDB database with our API, and all our API routes are working fine. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you enjoy this video, hit the like and subscribe button and share this video with your friends. And if you're having any doubts, leave your comments, leave your doubts in the comment box. I will reply back. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video.